You're watching Fugitive Red Eye, and I'm going to be responding to the Anime Heroes Violence Jack video. I've done my best to balance the audio of this, but the Anime Heroes audio is considerably quieter than mine, but I've done all I can to up his and try to balance it, so hopefully this works out. This could be a fun one, because this isn't a video necessarily that I'm going to disagree with, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but it could be fun just to revisit it, because the Anime Hero is one of the few... the Anime Hero is easily one of the best anime YouTubers. I genuinely think he is better than most. And, again, this is not a knock at him that I'm doing here, because I actually think he makes really good content. And, I don't even necessarily remember everything about this video. But I remember there's some phrasing he uses later on that I kind of want to give my 2 cents on. But again, this is not meant to shit on him, because I actually respect the hell out of him. With that out of the way, let's watch the fucking video, yeah?
God damn it! Where the hell is Jack? Fuck them chicken shit! Fucking shit! Fucking shit!
Starting with Laser is the best move he could do. Fucking Laser is the best part of the dub.
Yeah.
And he's playing Jack Holic, which is fucking great. That's from Legends of DevilMan. That's a CD I own. Good CD. Seriously, Violence Jack is fucking badass, and anyone who says otherwise is stupid.
Hello people, I'm the Anime Hero, and I review anime so you can enjoy it. This video will...
You think he's trying to go for like a nostalgia critic thing with that intro?
Review anime so you don't have to.
No.
Yeah.
A spoiler-heavy discussion on the connection between...
Like I said, Anime Hero is legitimately, I think, the best anime YouTuber.
between DevilMan and Violence Jack. So, if you haven't read DevilMan, please stop this video.
Oh yeah, spoilers everybody. That's the DevilMan novel. This one here is. And this is Evil Town. This is the Evil Town theme.
Okay, so at the end of the DevilMan series...
Evil Town!
Also known as Helltown.
...being ruined by war as the demons were possessing human beings, which then leads to humans being paranoid as they become suspicious of their neighbors. The same can be said with the nearby countries as they became hysterical due to the fear of being nuked.
Yeah, but right now he's just kind of going over the ending of DevilMan. You think I should skim it or play the whole thing?
This eventually led for
The whole thing, I guess.
countries to fire nukes at each other, with the end result being the total extinction of the human race. Then comes the finale between the Devilman
By the way, this ending is fucking great. DevilMan's ending is great.
versus Demon War, with Akira being killed by Satan. Lastly, the final pages display God's legions of angels who defeat Satan. So, what does this have to do with Violence Jack? At first glance, there seems to be no relation whatsoever, although there might not be any at all.
See, so, that's an issue I'll take. Notice that. He said, no, there might not be any at all. One thing. I love the Anime Hero, but one thing he does that drives me fucking nuts is he is unwilling to just make definitive statements if the fan base might disagree. That's one little thing that drives me nuts.
In my DevilMan anthology video, I mentioned that Violence Jack contains appearances of other Go Nagai characters.
That's definitely. It contains the most, which is why when I did my shared universe theory, I said it's the end of the timeline.
People who bear some similarities, such as Kabuto with Mazinger's...
I mean, that's literally not a similarity. That's literally Koji riding around on a human version of Mazinger.
Or a biker named Dante, who bears a Demon Lord Dante silhouette on his helmet. The question is the canonicity of Violence Jack.
So, as far as canon, it's not canon anymore. It hasn't been since Devilman Lady. There we go, we've cleared that up.
Go Nagai stated in interviews that Violence Jack...
Where? Where is this fucking interview? Everybody always brings up this fucking interview, but the only time I have ever seen it mentioned is on the Devilman Wiki. Because I have never seen a source on the Devilman Wiki as to where the fuck he said this.
is canon only to itself.
And again, even if Go Nagai said it, that means nothing. It means literally nothing. Saying it is canon only to itself means nothing, because Devilman is still canon to it. I did this whole rant when I reviewed the Violence Jack manga. Devilman is still canon to Violence Jack because the events of Devilman still took place in Violence Jack, whether or not Violence Jack is accepted as canon. Anyway, I've gone over this like 30 times.
So, similar characters may have nothing to do with the respective series.
With these, yes. Like, with these, like, you can make that argument. Like, with, like, Koji... Like, I like to think of them all as reincarnations, because, like I said, that's my personal theory, which I think there is some evidence for, that it is all actually reincarnations. But you can make the argument that, like, obviously, like, maybe Mazinger Z... But here's the thing! And spoiler, everybody, spoiler for Z Mazinger and Shin Mazinger. Mazinger Z himself, in Z Mazinger and Shin Mazinger, is a reincarnation of Zeus, like the robot is. And so this guy being a reincarnation of the robot would also make him a reincarnation of Zeus.
Other than making an interesting parallel or reference.
And Gonagai does all these references all the time, and you can make that argument, because he loves to do that. He loves to, like, put his characters with cameos and appearances and stuff. I like to think it's more than just that. I like to think that it is reincarnations, but that itself is not confirmed. That's just my fan theory. But DevilMan, on the other hand, you can't even make the fucking argument, because the ending dialogue makes it pretty clear that it is a sequel.
The same can be said with a connection between Violence Jack and DevilMan.
Incorrect. Violence Jack and DevilMan are absolutely connected. They absolutely are. Whether or not it's considered canon to the current DevilMan timeline is irrelevant. Violence Jack had the events of DevilMan take place. They make that pretty clear, because when Jack becomes DevilMan again, they talk about the ending of DevilMan, and then they have a rematch. It is absolutely cut and dry. There's no question. There's no room for interpretation. It is a sequel. Now, granted, to give the anime hero credit, this is long before the final chapter got a translation on any sort of fan app. At this point, nobody had translated the ending. It was all just rumors. However, since then, the ending has been translated, and I was right, and all the other fan base who said it wasn't can suck my dick. Again, I'm not saying that directed to the anime hero, because I like the anime hero. But all the people in my comments who were really annoying and kept telling me it wasn't a sequel can go to hell.
As it could be open for interpretation for the
There's no interpretation. It makes it pretty clear.
reader's enjoyment. I should also mention that not many of these significant pages can be found translated.
See, as I said, at this point, they were not translated. So here's the thing. Anime Hero was being fair. He didn't want to speak out of turn. That's fair. I can respect that. I like to make definitive statements, which is why I have occasionally been wrong. But I've always done corrections later on.
Most of it is wrong, but I'm willing to share what I was able to find. In the early chapters of Violence Jack, Jack hears of the Slum King, a man who demands control.
Which, by the way, the Slum King is Xenon. Spoiler.
Was left in capital Japan. However, when Jack first meets the Slum
Yeah, look at this. All those people who try and tell me that there's no hints at all early on. This is literally the first arc.
across his human dogs, who are basically Mickey and Ryo. This comes as a shock to the reader, as we saw Mickey die in the DevilMan series. As for Ryo, we don't exactly know what happened to him.
We kind of do. He was killed.
Agent of Angel,
Like, it's never shown, but it's heavily implied, and the sequels make it pretty clear.
or at least punished in some form.
Now, granted, the ending of Violence Jack reincarnates it and puts him in this world as a form of torture. Like, Ryo is literally placed into the world of Violence Jack as a punishment. I can't remember if he put himself there or if God put him there. See, it's been a minute since I've read it, so there you go. I've read the ending, and... Go ahead.
I think DevilMan has, like, the greatest tragic ending of any story ever.
Yeah.
Further information states that Ryo and Mickey were a couple, while Akira doesn't seem to exist in their lives. Yet we can see Jack being shocked at their appearance.
Yeah, see, again, people saying there was no hints early on. The first fucking arc, his response, like, Jack actually reacts to seeing Ryo.
Is it due to their monster state, or is it something else? There's
Alright, this is the Harem Bomber soundtrack.
also a mystery surrounding Violence Jack as a person, as his motivations are unclear, as he often aids people, but tends to resort to very cruel methods in helping them, and isn't afraid of getting his hands dirty.
Right, because he wants the weak to become strong enough to fight their own battles. That's his whole ethos.
It's also displayed that Jack is some kind of supernatural entity.
Yeah, like a demon. Or a devil man, perhaps.
Some chapters display usage of illusions and other reality-bending abilities.
Yeah, no, like, these chapters are... Like, when you see Jack do, like, crazy off-the-wall shit, those are, like, my favorite.
Further aided with his powerful physique and his violent nature. An even bigger mystery are the birds following Jack, and the revelation of Jack having three forms.
Yeah, and when the three merge together, they become Devilman. Again, having read the ending, that does happen.
And a woman and a child. It is implied that these birds are part of Jack, or
I also really like to flex the fact that I own the entire manga, because I think I'm one of the few people that do. Like, in the US, especially.
himself, as they appear when Jack is not around, and disappear as soon as Jack emerges from somewhere. This is more explored in the manga Shin Violence Jack.
I mean, it's pretty relevant in the main series, too. Like, they show up a lot more later on. Like, it's definitely the later chapters that have them more in it, but they are pretty prominent.
Where Jack alternates between his adult and child form. According to certain articles on wikis and such, at some point, Miki and Ryo die in the Violence Jack manga.
Yeah, Miki also gets, like, horribly raped by a dog.
Only to somehow reappear again in the story, but this time...
Yeah, that's another thing about Violence Jack that's really interesting, is characters die and then are just fine. Like, there is some stuff open to interpretation in the middle. Like, there's literally a chapter where Jack just straight up gets killed by the Slum King, and then he's just fine in the next chapter. And vice versa, there's one where he kills the Slum King.
It's a dramatic change. Ryo has returned to being Satan, while the Slum King is actually the remnants of Xenon. And lastly, Violence Jack unites with his other selves, becoming Devil.
Again, and the dialogue in the ending makes it pretty clear this is actually happening.
It is then stated that DevilMan battles against Satan, and this time, DevilMan is the victim.
And that's why Violence Jack is the best sequel.
So basically, Akira Fudo is Violence Jack. Further proves the OVA CB Chara Go Nagai World, as it clearly declares that Akira is Violence Jack.
Yeah, that's why it's funny when people act like there's no connection. Like, it's crazy to me that the anime hero can still even entertain the idea just to try and not, like, seem definitive when he's like, oh yeah, no, maybe there is no connection. But it's like, you literally just pointed out several things that prove that there absolutely is.
Things are different in the manga Shin Violence Jack.
Yeah, Shin Violence Jack is unique. It's very different. Like, it's much more explicitly clear from the start that it's a sequel.
And it's unclear Jack is.
Yeah, so in Shin Violence Jack, he might be Akira and he might be Ammon. That's unclear. And then the Skull King is either Ryo, Akira, or Dante.
While the Devilman wiki says it's Amon who becomes Jack, I have my personal doubts on this statement.
I agree with him. I think Jack is still Akira, and I think Dante is actually the Skull King.
So even with this reveal of Akira being Violence Jack, how does this make any sense if we were to try to make Violence Jack canon to the Devilman series?
Well, again, it's a sequel.
Well, again, referring to the OVA of CB Chara, during the conversation between Ryo and Baron Ashura from Mazinger Z, it is shown that Ryo is capable of creating worlds due to his powers as Satan, so he may have created the world in Violence Jack. Although there are some contradictions to this theory. Some people say it was God himself who created Earth anew and punished Ryo for his rebellion.
Yeah, I think Ryo was punishing himself, but I don't remember. I honestly don't remember if it was God or Ryo who created the new world. That is my mistake for forgetting that one pretty key detail.
Granted him a tortured life as a dog. Yet another series gives a different possibility.
Well, Devilman Lady is the official sequel. Like, canonically, it goes Demon Knight, Devilman, Devilman Lady, Devilman Saga. Glad we cleared that up.
In Devilman Lady, when Akira was killed by Satan, he was sent to hell. During a trip to Earth as a ghost, he discovered that the world was different from his own.
This is Devilman Ghost. Well, no. This is not Devilman Ghost. This is Devilman Lady. Devilman Ghost is when he possesses the costume. Never mind.
It had no traces of demon influence.
Because Devilman Ghost is part of Devilman Lady, but it was written later.
Akira instead finds out that he is a fictional character in this world. So applying this knowledge in Violence Jack may infer that Planet Jack could be a different world altogether, created either by the god of the Devilman series, some other god, or by Go Nagai himself.
Well, Go-chan is a character in most of his work. Like, he has himself as a character. And in Chibichara Go Nagai world, Go-chan literally is God.
Again, referring to the Chibichara Go Nagai world, God is Go Nagai. Well, more specifically, his self-portrait of a smiley face, which was capable of creating multiple worlds. So in other words, no one knows for sure if Violence Jack bears any connection to any other Go Nagai series.
I'm sure.
This work makes Violence Jack fascinating, as it's open for the reader to interpret it in
I disagree.
any way he or she wants. In fact, there's one theory I heard that the earthquakes that set the story in Violence Jack may have been caused by demons who tried to escape from hell, which could explain some of the supernatural events of the series. Things get even more confusing in Shin.
Like, there is definitely some stuff earlier on especially that's open to interpretation, but the ending, it's pretty fucking cut and dry.
Violence Jack, as it's a standalone story which does play around with the concepts in Violence Jack, such as characters taking different forms or having some sort of parallel counterpart. Much of the confusion in Violence Jack comes from being untranslated and being very ambiguous on the correct order of chapters, as most of the manga is very episodic and
Yeah, and I would argue most of the arcs can be read in any order.
contains some unexplained events. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video explaining the confusing structure of this Go Nagai series. If you want more information on certain stories in Violence Jack, then click on the link in the description to see a well-written blog summarizing some of the key events of the story. I'm the Anime Hero.
You guys want to know an even better place to get the full summary of the story? Watch this. Are you happy with this, Chisu? Are you fucking happy that I am giving you a free plug? Here's the fucking summary of the story. Honestly, Chisu's summary of the story is the best summary of the story. Like, it's not just him. He had other people work on it with him. So it's like, but like Chisu's wiki has the best, objectively, summary of the story. Because he literally, him and his other moderators literally outline every single chapter. Maybe read the Gonagai wiki things. I mean, I shouted it out at least. I got no other mods. Guy put one in and I added the most of the rest. Oh, okay. Okay. So there you go. It is mostly Chisu then. It is all pretty much Chisu that has the good summary then. Let's see. Does your wiki actually say whether it was God or Rio that created the world? Because I honestly don't fucking remember. All right. I will see you guys later. Have a good one.
I hope they have a bad one.
Oh. Well, there you go. Corbin says, fuck you. There you go.
Subscribe to Fugitive Red Eye.